All right, if you are ready to start the show, make some noise. Nah, that's fake because one person on this side of the room was louder than everybody over here. So we're gonna try that again. We gonna try that again though. If you are ready to start the show, make some motherfucking noise. That is much better. Welcome to the Berkeley Poetry Slam semifinals bout 2. My name is Reggie, and I will be your host on this magical evening of poetic excellence and artistic beauty. Who here has never been to a poetry slam before? Wow, I see a lot. You're competing tonight. Stop it. You work here. You were competing last week, but there are some people who are telling the truth. Tonight was the perfect night for you to decide to come to a poetry slam for the first time, because tonight is our second semifinals bout. Like I said earlier, we have had an amazing group of poets competing all year to see who would make the Berkeley Slam team. 16 of those poets made it into our 2 semifinals bouts. You will see 7 of those poets tonight. But a poetry slam is a competition, and a competition is a game, and every game has its rules. First, for the poets, no props, no costumes, no musical accompaniment, no nudity. We do not want to see your genitals. There are plenty of places where you can go and show your genitals. There are no exceptions tonight. But more important than keeping your nibbly bits away is our time limit. You have 3 minutes with a grace period of 10 seconds to spit your own original work. After 3 minutes and that grace period of 10 seconds, you will be deducted points by our scorekeepers. After 4 minutes, you will be muted and played off stage, and I will have to awkwardly come up here and act like that didn't happen. I am already awkward all on my own. I do not need your help. Whatever you do not go over 4 minutes. Normally, we have Word of the Day, a time-honored tradition where we take random words from the audience and force poets to jam it into their poems. Tonight's semifinals, so we are not doing that. Instead, we have added a new gimmick. Every single poet tonight will be debuting new work. Every single person wrote a new poem to bring to semifinals. So you will be hearing new work. You might be hearing old work, but you will be hearing good work because these are 8 of some of the best poets that came up this year. All right, that's for the poets. Next for the judges. Judges, can you raise your scoreboards, please? Wow, this is beautiful. You have the hardest job tonight. You have to give your opinion on the poetry openly, because you will be giving every poet a score from a 0.0 to 10.0 scale. 0.0 is the worst piece of shit you ever heard in your life. That poem beat your mom up, and then fucked your dad, and then killed your dad, and then looked at your dog menacingly so your dog never looks at other people ever again. Exactly, trauma is a 0. A 10 is the best thing you've ever heard in your life. It's like ice cream, or lactose-free ice cream for our stomach girlies. It's like, imagine all of the good things that could ever happen to you happening at once, and then there's more good things to come, and just bad things don't happen. That's a 10. Point being, not a lot of zeros, not a lot of 10s. Score accordingly. There's this thing that as the night goes on, and we are visiting the bar and getting ourselves drink, getting into the swing of things, the scores start going up. But that's not fair to the people who went first when you are sober and vibeless. So to help you out, we will have a sacrificial poet. They will be going first. You're gonna score them as if they are competing. Think of them as your calibration poet. So any poems you like more, score them higher. Any poems you don't like as much, score them lower. Next, for the audience, I need you to take out your cell phone. I see some of y'all not taking out y'all cell phones. And I need you to like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and the YouTubes at the Berkeley Poetry Slam. We do a lot of these things every month, and you want to stay so weedy tapped in to all we have to offer. And after you like, share, subscribe, whatever you need to do, I need you to turn the motherfuckers off, put them on silent, put them on vibrate. I call that the fun setting. Whatever you need to do to make sure that your phone does not make noise. If your phone rings in the middle of someone's poem, congratulations, you owe that poet a drink, so save yourself $1 and turn your phone off. Rule number 2. I don't know, more than $1? That should be more of an incentive to turn off your phone. After I can see you pull out your cell phone because this is a live show. This isn't your grandma's open mic. You don't have to be like, that was a good line. You can make noise. You can let these poets know how you like their work. You can snap. Everybody snap with me. You can stomp your foot. Everybody stomp your foot if you can. You can say, let's go in poet. But the more love you show this stage, the more love this stage will show back to you, which brings me to number 3. This stage is a freedom of speech zone, which means anyone is going to come up here and say whatever the fuck they want to say. However, freedom of speech does not mean freedom from the consequences of what the fuck you just said. And we encourage necessary conversations to encourage a learning environment, because you can fuck up once, but you can learn more than once. We encourage you to have those conversations outside of the show. Inside of the show, you are my problem. Outside of the show, you are Berkeley Police Department's problem. More importantly, we don't want to interrupt the artistry that the next poet is bringing up just because of something that the first poet did. So please have those conversations outside. If you don't feel comfortable having those conversations, you can talk to me or any of the other organizers in this space. We are all comfortable and able to have those conversations for you, but we will also be having those conversations outside of the show. Okay, we have the rules for the poets, the audience, the judges. Are y'all ready to hear who's going to be competing in this slam? Okay, so like half of the audience was ready. Let's warm y'all up. I think y'all a little tired, you know, it's been a little rainy. We're all in that seasonal depression, got that chokehold again. All right, so we're gonna try this side of the room. Can you make some noise this side of the room? Okay, that was healthy. That was cornbread fed, okay. I'm trying to encourage people, but if this side of the room thinks they can do better, make some noise. That table right there is the table to beat. All right, the middle, y'all got more people, so don't let me down. Make some noise. All right, now everybody together, make some noise. Much better. The poets will be reading in this order. We have Cadence, we have Clara, we have Tino, we have Ezperanza, we have Owaju, we have Chardonay, and we have Niambi. Give it up for every single person who's going to be touching this stage tonight. All right, that means on deck, we have Cadence. But give maximum love to your sacrificial poet. Everybody say, spill the blood. And give it up for your sacrificial poet, Hobby.
I had a couple of cocktails before this, so bear with me. I had a gin and tonic and like an IPA. In his defense, he didn't know when he hit me, I would burst into flames. The bathroom tiles would all crack the same shape a bruise would have formed. He hit me, and hands flooded his feet, each one thirsty for his mouth. He hit me, and the blood on my cheek said, "Is that all you got?" It's the only reason he would have come back again and again. Each hit, a new face would form. He must have kept going because I too would try to kill so many eyes staring back at me. I must have smelled like a mirror. Must have felt like his father the first time he said, "I love you." I must have flinched and broke character, that's it. Someone told him I'm capable of fear and he wanted to prove them wrong. Someone saw me and he swore he was the only one who could. I fell in love and so it's my fault. He turned me into concrete. He hit me and thought I would disappear in smoke. But I hit back like a choking spell. He swallowed and my blood apparated in his lungs. He told me not to tell a soul and a cemetery sanctuaried from my throat. The room flooded in light. You could have swore the walls were black. My mouth unhinged. My teeth began to dance the way children do after a funeral. His skin singed at each spot I ever touched, so all of him burned. He screamed for God and God said, "Too late." He hit me, but he didn't know I was hungry.
Keep that round of applause going for Javi. All right, judges, I need your scores. So this is the longest I'm gonna give you all night. Oh my goodness. So those of y'all who have been coming to the Berkeley Slam have known, for a while have known that I'm like, I can't see. And I finally got glasses. It's giving health insurance. Don't cheer, it's Kaiser. You need a new marker? We'll get you a new marker, but I can see that score. Oh my God. Amazing Grace is playing in my mind right now. All right, can you hold them up until I read them out? I have 1 score, 2 score, 3 score, 4 score, 5 scores. We have a low of a 5.0, goes up to a 5.2, a 6.2, a 7.0, and a 7.6. Fuck the scores, give it up for the poet and never the points. All right, judges, that was your sacrificial poet. You are now experts. You have been trained. You are practiced. I believe in you, audience. We have already had our sacrificial poet and we don't have any fucking tins. So I have a new job for you. Your new job is to sway the judges. Let them know how you feel about their judging. So what do you do if you like a score? If you boo a score that you like, are you a Scorpio? It tracks. But, I mean, I guess we're already there. What do you do if you don't like a score? Judges, do not be swayed by this audience. You were handpicked because you have a particular set of skills. And you will use those skills to find your missing daughter. No. You are handpicked because you know what the fuck you are talking about. Audience, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, let alone who I picked. Everyone knows their jobs. Everyone knows their roles. Get it, got it, good. On deck, we have Clara. But give maximum love to our first poet competing in the slam. Give it up for Cadence!
There's a bathroom in my chest with a little girl who never left. After the storm of his vice grip, she ran and hid inside while the world belt buckled in around us. The day the innocence train clattered out through the gap between my missing baby teeth was the day I lost her. Adopted boy mask and lockjaw masculinity, I tried to forget her. While she plucked buttercups from heartstrings, looked up at me and said, you love me not. Then puberty and punk rock shows, and there were cute girls in black jeans, Doc Martens, and combat red lipstick, and the little girl said, if you can't be them, join them. And I loved them. Makeouts and melting into the backs of station wagons, into each other's arms, and she would press her face up against the windshield of my sternum and smile, and the girls could see her. And in those moments, they would call me sweet boy and stroke my hair, and they knew that I was beautiful. But when it ended, it was always like the first time at his hands, and she wailed at the crisp bite of betrayal as I shoveled her back inside, ashamed of my vulnerability. And in the fallout, I found chemistry, this science of amphetamines and alcohol, every neuron inside of me flooded with this medicine. Those were the days I learned to crank the volume of dysphoria down, to muffle the screams of not right, not a boy, and she gave up. Until I met Violet. Violet and I blues danced and picked blackberries. She played accordion and sang to me and taught me about good food and fine art. And when we made love, I could hear the little girl inside of me humming, and slowly she grew hopeful, and that hope moved me sweetly, and I melted again into skin, onto my back, letting my lover see the depths of me and accept me. But that ended too. And we were back in the bathroom, and I screamed at the little girl for making me so weak, and she ran and hid, cowering on cold tile. Fuck. I fucking dropped it. Fucking lost it.
Keep that round of applause going for Cadence. Judges, I need your scores. I love you, babe. Picking up a penny. Shout out our DJ. That explains that's my account, so good taste, good taste. Yes. All right, let them know how you feel. We have a low of a 6.0. Goes up to a 6.0, a 6.9, a 7.7, and an 8.2. Fuck the scores. Give it up for the poet and never the points. The poet and never the points. All right, on deck. Oh my fucking God. One day I'm going to trust Apple enough to give them my Face ID, but not today. Not today. I don't, look, last time black people gave up our information. Exactly. All right, on deck we have Tino, but give maximum love to the next poet coming up on stage. Give it up for Clara!
Crash course in philosophy from the professor who tried to fuck half the girls in our class. We pretend to be content with beauty, Kant says. Pastoral odes with their starts and ends fixed to the page. Cute white sheep on rolling hills, the trimmed hedge, daisy chain, stem sewn square by dainty hands. Careful, Kant says, the saccharin rots your teeth. Stop seeking a face you recognize in the mountainside. Instead, run towards the burning bush. Let the earth take a bite out of you. Look at the waterfall hammering down on its rock bed, Kant said. Look how many stars there are and how many you can count on your meager quantity of hands. Feel your humanness bulging from those gaps in your menial capacity to quantify. Feel that confluence of fear and awe when a storm pounds the teeth of your roof in. Shingles clang, window frames bent to their buckling points. When nature is the hero, we worship at his feet, beg for mercy, but in a hot way. Revel in our incompatibility with grandeur. Kant says, you like it, don't you? You want it, don't you? The horror, the glow, the wind, the wildfire, the winding path leading to a crooked ledge with too much space. Kant says, look at it. Throbbing, swinging, gorgeous, incomprehensibly huge and unbridled. Feel yourself shudder in the face of its magnitude. Force submission below the weight of open space. This is sublimity, he said. This is sentience. Close your eyes and brace yourself for the godly. The tidal wave might rip your pride away, rub salt in the wounds of your mortality. But comfort can't grant you the depth of feeling chaos brings. Kant says, know your place in the natural order. Kant asks, what would you do for an A? Kant wants to know, are you the type to be satisfied or enlightened?
Keep that round of applause going for Clara. Judges, you know what I need. I need your scores. I got 1 score, 2 score, 3 score, 4 score, 5 scores. All right, let them know how you feel. We have a low of a 6.4. Goes up to a 7.0, a 7.2, a 7.7, and a 7.7. Fuck the scores, give it up for the poet, never the points. The poet, and never the points. All right. Who here can tell me where we are? Someone said 3 people have gone, and I'm just like, talking about like the physically where we are. We are at the Starry Plow Pub. We have been on this stage every Wednesday, plus or minus a pandemic, since 1998. That means we have been here for 25 years. That's older than some of the people in this room. Not older than me, though. The only reason we have been able to stay in this space is because people like you came to a show like this and got drinks and got food and supported the establishment that has spent the last quarter century supporting the arts, supporting poetry in Berkeley, making sure that we can send teams to represent the Bay Area to cities like Chicago, Decatur, Jesus, where else have we been? St. Louis, just literally everywhere. Oakland, I mean, that's literally down the street though. Like, what, 4 blocks, 5 blocks? Point being, we have a 1 drink minimum here at the Berkeley Slam. You can go to the bar and get a drink. They have beer, they have cider, they have wine, they have non-alcoholic. Yes, they have non-alcoholic drinks like sparkling apple juice. They have, that's the kitchen, and we'll get there. We'll get to the kitchen in a second. They do have food, and we'll get to the food in a second. You're gonna have to find self-content on your own. Important thing is, get yourself a drink. It's okay if you don't drink, because I can drink enough for everyone. So if you don't wanna buy yourself a drink, you can always buy me a drink. I'm drinking the lavender lemonade kombucha. which is like the most Berkeley sentence I've ever fucking said. But it matches the nails, it matches the outfit, and it matches my pretty bitch swag. So yes, support the bar, and more importantly, tip your bartender. All right, on deck, we have Ezperanza, but give maximum love to the next poet coming up on stage. Give it up for Tino!
También de este lado hay sueños. On this side, too, there are dreams. Janine Cummings. And so I should be grateful she put a brown face on the name of an unnamed immigrant. And so I should be able to see my parents in her book called American Dirt, a true immigrant story, written by a white woman. A voice for the voiceless. Here is our white woman savior. Here is a writing galloping in to save the brown people, to upend the violence, conquer the bad hombres. Here, I ask her for a cut from her royalty to support my family, and she calls me ungrateful. 7-figure book deals and 69,000 kids in cages later, she is still comfortable. Uses her American visa to unfurl the wall for herself. When I tell her she's profiting from a story that does not belong to her, she calls Latinos a product of the cartel, a border, another El Dorado that is satiated with a proper pillage. I call her white noise, and she proceeds to create an abundance of status. She begins to cry and say how sorry she is to bother to profit. Humanize my parents. Janine hides behind her tears the way all white women do. I tell her, yo, white women are synonymous with invasion to me, and she begins to cry more. All white women ever do is embellish a narrative and cry when they're caught liars. Says no one believes her work, but audiences still buying it, are quick to come for her and then heckle me. And yo, I'm uncomfortable how quickly you can make yourself the victim. Like I haven't tried to cast my family as resilient just for you to go write them off as hopeless. And yes, I am bitter. All our stories survive because of us, handed down from generation to generation, just so you can go and call it anthropology. How you can say, La Frontera, but your voice is the wall undocumented. People have to crawl over how you can quote anything. And people believe it fell from your mouth first. También de este lado hay sueños. On this side, too, there are dreams. Armando Alanis Puñuelo. Get it right, Janine. None of this work is yours. Feminism is so American, it's new wave imperialism. White savior so well-meaning, I empty my pockets in exchange for my own trauma. She must think she's doing us some sort of favor, that we're incapable of escaping our own violence. No one is voiceless, Janine. Not the way you claim us to be, but you aren't interested in making yourself a platform for us. So fuck your book. Here is all the profit you made off of giving back to the people. Here, I will upend the violence and expose you for what you are. White woman performing brown noise. White woman still colonizer. White woman still violent.
Keep that round of applause going for Tino. All right, judges, I need your scores. I have no opinions. We have a low of a 7.9. That is the highest low score we have gotten all night. Chill the fuck out. It goes up to an 8.0. an 8.0, a 9.2, and a 9.5. Fuck the scores. Give it up for the poet and never the points. The poet and never the points. So last time I told you about the kitchen. But let me tell you, I told you about the bar. Ooh. I am not in my early 20s. I'm not chugging shit but a NyQuil. Let me tell you about the kitchen. The Starry Plow has some of the best food in Berkeley. You should go to the kitchen and get the food. There are wings, there are fries, there's cottage pie. Shaheen. Is there bread pudding tonight? There is bread fucking pudding. If you were going to the Berkeley Slam, I don't know, like a pandemic ago, like before everything got like shut down, the bread pudding was my shit. When the Starry Plow opened, they didn't bring back the bread pudding right away. And I screamed, I cried, threw up a little bit. I was a hot fucking mess. And then when Shaheen brought back the bread pudding, I screamed, I cried, I threw up a little bit. I was a hot mess. That bread pudding makes me forget that I am lactose intolerant and it is covered in ice cream. It is the best thing ever. Whatever you do, get the bread pudding, visit the kitchen, tip Shaheen. He's been holding it down for years. Yes, I heard someone say facts. Like a machine. Anyway, on deck, we have Owaju. But give maximum love to the next poet coming up on stage. Give it up for Ezperanza!
If you work hard enough, you too can claim your American dream. After all, this is the land of milk and honey, of opportunity for immigrants like my mom and grandparents, where our green thumbs can grow dollars from trees and harvest fields of fruits where no one is hungry. Pay your dues, keep your head down, and soon you'll own a white picket fence. Better yet, a wall. Don't sweat if you can't afford a down payment. Sell away your retirement and dile a tus hijos they can inherit your debts. They can inherit your debts. Rent an apartment in Hayward con 5 de mis primos, tíos, and tías, crammed into sharing one bedroom with a beautiful view of the hallway. No privacy or laundry, utilities not included. Remind yourself that it'll all pay off in the end. Pay the minimum monthly payment right on time, so that 25% interest rate will ensure you keep owing for the rest of time. Forever. Time is a construct you must cling to. Being early is on time is late, time is money, and when you're late, you're a useless waste for messing with corporate America's favorite currency. Speaking of money, let us take care of yours for you. Those hard numbers must be so confusing. Don't worry, we'll keep making sure you have nothing to invest. Line our pockets with your hard-earned time while we bide ours until you're arrested for some made-up crime, like jaywalking, partying too loud, or existing. Trying to make a living with the skills you have. Selling as a taquero sin vergüenza y sin licencia. The only license you should have is maybe one to drive, so you can pay us money. Something you have to buy to validate your existence, like, oh, I know, bridge tolls, taxes, citizenship. If not, leave. Take the hopes of opportunity with you. Share it with those from whatever country you came from. Tell them the American dream is real. Don't tell them it's real expensive, real difficult to reach, really just an opportunity being upsold back like nobody's business. Higher price than a single life that we started and it will end it too. Lock people up in cells if we don't make enough sales. Keep kids in cages and tell them they were abandoned. El sueño americano sigue despierto. Nunca sabrá tan dulce como su realidad. Another immigrant gone to haunt the other Americas, never to taste as sweet as its reality. The truth is that the closer one gets to it, the more it expands, building higher and higher. Diversity is a melting pot where we turn many shades into one. One language, one label, one country, many genocides. United.
Keep that round of applause going for Ezperanza. Judges, I need your scores. Judges, I'll walk you to your cars. We have a low of a 7.5. Go. Y'all finished? Goes up to a 7.9, an 8.0, an 8.3, and an 8.4. Fuck the scores, give it up for the poet and never the points. The poet and never the points. Once again, judges, I will walk you to your cars. You have nothing to worry about. On deck, we have Chardonay, but give maximum love to the next poet coming up on stage. Give it up for Owaju. Hold on. Stay right there. DJ, cut the beat. Cut the beat. That was whack as fuck. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. These are the top poets in Berkeley. These are some brave motherfuckers coming up here to spit poetry for your enjoyment. We need to give maximum, like 1,000% love for every single person who touches this stage tonight. So we're gonna try that again. Give it up for Owaju!
I've been praying you make it. While my heart's breaking to the cadence of your mechanically aided respirations, pulling up your blanket, I'm teared up. Silently cursing friends who tell me to cheer up. It's weird, but unless your love has been clutched by death, and you know that if they go, there'll be nothing left, then your comfort and comments will cause me to cuss and stress. Chalking this up to some cosmic logic makes me want to stress. Chalking this up to some cosmic logic makes me want to vomit. Getting up to stretch, my nerves could use a break, but I won't touch a cigarette. If not for Newports and Santa Fe's, you wouldn't be stuck in this mess. Up in this bed, struggling for breath, with me pacing my soul out. I never would have coaxed you into smoking if I knew what I know now. Every box, carton, Lucy, and lighter would have been thrown out. You would be conscious and we would be home now, where I would listen to your heart without these EKG tone sounds as your only signs of life. And mine too. Since I'm through without your shining light, I find I'm losing the fight to see silver linings and keep my feelings inside. Just so if you open your eyes one more time, you'll have hope in seeing me smiling. But right now I need a drink Tiptoe on the brink of catastrophe. I'm trying to take my mind off things. I think of how your laugh would be before your larynjectomy. Me. We were casually puffing casualties, Russian roulette with tobacco, and every cigarette was refreshing the ammo. Now examples of a surgeon wanted and ignored. Borrowing time we couldn't afford. I see the reapers, the repo. A backhanded comfort to people who know how truly evil and unforgiving chemo can be, and how movies lie. When loved ones die, it never seems so serene. With all our beliefs, hopes, and dreams facing conclusion, destitution moves into view. I'm losing it, stepping out the room to vent. I'm walking, giving little attention to the doctors talking. I'm distant with the reminiscent thoughts and how often I'm lost in how often you told me to stay positive. With all your coughing and sobbing, with all our praying to God, if heaven can't wait to take you, me and faith are staying at odds. Then taking the cup from the Keurig, I turn to see nurses rush to your room. I feel life being sucked from my spirit, only to be flushed full of doom. Television blurred, feet moving shoes, souls heavy. Completely unprepared where I'm supposed to be ready. I mean, my be-all and end-all might be ended by menthol-flavored hate, tasting fate, erasing our greatness and faith, moving beyond the pace of please pull through it. We're late at the door, stopping, coffee dropping with our heartbeat. Clearly watching your body jolt with the shock, and this is not you. Clearly this is not me. Facing love's greatest fear. Clear and present danger, mixing with the hurt and anger. Interfering with steering clear of the cold and hopeless empty that is my here and now. Clearly peering down in the barrel of a barrel from a blast from our past time. Up in smoke, all our good are now bad times, when the only request I had was to have time. Cancer now answers back with your flat lie.
Give it up one more time for Owaju. Can we get a towel from the bar? Oh, we got one. All right. Judges, I need your scores. Okay, we have a wide range of opinions here. We have a low of a 7.8. It goes up. I said a wide range. It gets better, just like your depression. Goes up to a 7.9, and then a 9.1, a 10, and a 10. Give it up for the poet and never the points. The poet and never the points. All right, we are gonna keep it pushing on deck. We have Niambi. But give maximum love to the next poet coming up on stage. Give it up for Chardonay.
A white person with dreads came up to me and had me fucked up. You take up too much space to take up space for me too. You talk about brutality you could never actually experience, as if your whiteness is erased by your queerness, or you think your queerness could erase your privilege, but it's not an accurate narrative if you leave out your place in the pyramid as oppressor. You don't get to speak on my oppression from any angle but oppressor. Your makeshift revolution is colonizing my tongue with a rainbow flag, and then using it to speak on whiteness without indicting yourself, but all of y'all are guilty. Your hair may as well be a Nazi logo you can't see. Call it colorblindness, or the erasure of black heritage, or manifesting something interesting about yourself because y'all love harvesting black culture while talking over black people. If you were a real ally, you'd show up to the protest looking like them clean-cut white folks the police don't get called on. You'd be on the front lines when they come with the rubber bullets and the tear gas and the tanks. You would take the first hit so that my black ass wouldn't have to for a change. Or, at the very least, you'd offer to pay me to educate you instead of walking up to me demanding my words, time, and presence. I get paid to teach, but that's just like y'all, simultaneously upholding systemic slavery while also denying you play a part just because you got matted hair you call dreads and write about brutality you could never actually experience. Go fucking figure. Everybody wants to be a nigga, but nobody wants to be a nigger. Then you'd end up like your hair, damaged beyond recognition because you lack the strength or depth required to embody anything black.
Keep that round of applause going for Chardonay. Judges, I need your scores. All right, let them know how you feel. We have a low of a 7.8. Goes up to an 8.8, a 9.0, a 9.2, and a 10. Give it up for the poet and not the points. The poet and not the points. All right. On deck, we have our featured poet of the night, Bree Blue. But give maximum love to our last poet competing in the first round. Give it up for Niambi.
The story of the boy with the perfect love, dedicated to the version of me too perfect to love back or be loved at all. The boy will confess to a love that is all-encompassing, to which you will contort your mouth in the name of endurance. Later, you'll think better. Think you should have loved like that better. Blame the turmoil, blame the befores. The boy has a pretty smile and cheeks your grandmother loves to kiss. She'll say, bring that boy around more. That's a nice boy. That boy has a sparkle for you. That boy knows how to love good, and you are too bitter for that boy. The boy has cheer that just don't go away with your pessimism. He has the kind of joy that don't get robbed, the kind of optimism that leaves the sun in awe. You were always named naive and adult at the wrong times. You were always hard in the wrong places, accepting all that found you. Showed up to wall breakage too late to be pure, but this boy is seen pure. He is all starry-faced and don't know nothing about the world or you. See, if he knew you, he'd raise his voice a little louder. See, if he knew you, he'd lay your hands down in dirt, pray that they blossom something more accepting of beautiful things. Hands stretched open, he'd leave you out to dry longer. The light would be coming from different directions. He'd get distracted. If he knew you, he'd seek sanctuary. Not to say you have not named yourself sacred, but damn, this boy, he believes you are the chapel. And he'll sing your praises every time. You'll stand there, fixed, smile, fake. You think you know the boy too well to be loving to him, huh? There's no way you can top that type of blind love he got. The boy will fine-tune you to any audience, and they'll say, this boy knows how to love good. This is what love looks like. What's wrong with you? Don't you want that unconditional love? Don't you want someone who sees no flaw? And you'll ask yourself how many days you'll spend course correcting to the you who is not allowed to waver, to wane, to mistake. See, mirrors cracked and skewed like are all projection. How do you say, I don't want what love looks like. I want to be seen. I want to be ravished. I want to be torn at the seams, dissected and discovered. This has nothing to do with perfection and everything to do with putting duct tape on too many rose-colored lens. You snap the glass, and snap the glass, and snap. The boy has never gotten his hands dirty. The boy knows the world will hold him when he cries. The boy knows white tears better than you'll ever know mercy. See, you'll never grow until you're planted. Tell grandma, perfection shakes hands with delusion every day. You'll think better, wish you could love, honest, and you will. You will.
Keep that round of applause going for Niambi. Judges, I need your scores. That's just one person's opinion. Follow your heart, judges. I will walk you to your car, judges. I'm 6'2" and from Richmond. Nobody's fighting me over these scores. All right. Let them know how you feel. We have a low of a 7.6, goes up to an 8.2, an 8.8, an 8.9, and a 9.0. Fuck the scores. Give it up for the poet and never the points. The poet and never the points. So these storms, y'all, they are 100% safe here. This is a safe space. Okay. I do need a new judge for our second round before our feature. You're literally in finals and I'm not letting you judge. Do you know any of the poets? You know one of the poets? You can't judge, I'm sorry. You don't know any of the poets? All right, so like, call me Joseph because I'm stalling right now. Okay, so our feature is here? Okay, I'm still gonna do an outfit check, come on now. Y'all better cheer, I spent like 2 days doing this fucking hair. Okay, so I'm really excited for our feature. Ah! Okay, so when I know our features personally, I like to say something about them and my experiences with them before I read their bio. Our feature for the night is Bree Blue. Bree Blue is one of my favorite people. We gonna say that again. Our feature of the night is Bree Blue. And like I said, when I know the feature, I like to tell a story about them. Bree Blue used to run the Speakeasy open mic every Tuesday at the Black Repertory Theater just down the street. It was an amazing show. Let me tell you what Bree Blue did to me. It was 2018. It was the day before Berkeley Slam Finals in which I was competing. And Bree Blue had her birthday show. So I showed up because I'm a good friend and I love celebrating birthdays. I'm a fucking Sagittarius. I love to party. And Bree's like, let's do shots. And I'm just like, I'm 21, a fresh 21. I could do shots with Bree Blue. When I tell you I had to be here for Berkeley Slam Finals on the next day at 7:45 and I was throwing the fuck up until 6:50. I don't even remember how I got home, Bree. But one thing's for sure and two things for certain. Bree Blue is a damn good time. And more importantly, a damn good poet. So I'm gonna read her bio. Brianni Bree Blue is a published author, spoken word artist, and motivational speaker from Berkeley, California. Also a UC Berkeley alumna. Bree's passionate and emotionally charged performances allow her to connect with audiences through empathy, relatability, and inspiration. She has received numerous invitations to lend her creative, captivating brand of truth-telling to events nationwide, including the national stage for Lexus broadcast performance of Verses and Flow. A 3-time published author, Bree has a digital following of over 20,000 people. Was the founder and host of the weekly Speakeasy open mic series and created the Unapologetically You Awareness Campaign with a mission to uplift and empower women. Named the Bay Area Black Music Awards Best Female Spoken Word Artist from 2014 through 2017. The recipient of 4 2016 Bay Area Black Music Awards and the 2017 Cal Poly San Luis Obispo Black Graduation Keynote Speaker. Bree is a multi-talented dynamo that must be heard. I need y'all to give a nice, loud, low-key classy, high-key ratchet Berkeley Slam welcome to your feature of the night, Bree Blue.
Humility in the face of greatness. It's hypocrisy. So while I know I'm unapologetically Brianni, too many of them out there are still calling me cocky. Me? Don't they know I've already done at least 10 to 15 behind invisible bars? Wrist bound by invisible chains, lips stitched with invisible thread. I've been sentenced, executed, and still rose from the dead, only to be scrutinized by too many from my toes to my head. See, it's been bloody, battered, bruised, yet always unbowed. I've earned these stripes. Wait, no, hold on. I ain't never lived that street life. But I've lived this here life at least twice. See, I died each time I let the clinic take a life. So I thought my punishment had been to relive this life. And so my thoughts stall until I step up to a mic, because this is the only time I feel greatness, like this is my purpose. See, my metamorphosis deserves a thesis. Something like a dissertation. Y'all Berkeley people understand that shit. No mere explanation or argumentative justification will do it justice. It just is. I just is. My cup overflows with confidence, yet they want me to downplay my excellence, dim the light on my brilliance. That was Brianni in the past tense. See, I have long since rooted myself in the present. So blank journals now double as confession booths, and every stage is my pulpit. I'm the leader of my own self's congregation, rooted in the book of Revelations, even if the only one following me is my shadow. So forget being humble if that means you want me to hang my head low and pretend not to know my value. See, I was born to stand out, sometimes above and always in front of a crowd. So let them know they can expect my laughter to become loud, my whispers to become soapbox lectures, my failures to become breadcrumbs leading me right back to the royalty y'all know I was birthed from. See, I am greatness picked apart, strewn about, and then recreated to create an even better me. But I'm only half of what you hear, and not too much of what you see. See, I'm everything they said I'd never become, which means I'm exactly who I'm supposed to be. I am hope personified. I am expectations defied. I am living proof that no matter how many times they tried to kill it, the soul of a queen, that's some shit that can never die. How y'all doing? It has been a long time since I have stepped onto this stage. I was a member of the Berkeley Slam team some years ago. We was killing shit lightweight. Right. I was a member of the Oakland Slam team when nationals were out here in Oakland. 2015, I believe that was. We was killing shit then too. But life happens, right? COVID happened. I was not one of those artists who took full advantage of the pandemic and just wrote till my little heart was content. No, it was not a good time for me. And I think a lot of us artists, we subscribe to the mantra that we were supposed to be creating. We were supposed to be using that time to our advantage to grow and to get better and to come out of it with like all of this material. I came out with my sanity intact a little bit. And it had to matter. I got divorced during the pandemic. I had been married 10 years, right? Right, I feel like I did a bit. I did 10 years. It's been hard trying to reacclimate myself to the real world. And I say that not in jest because marriage is just another form of a commitment. And a commitment that you make to someone else when you have yet to commit to yourself is something that will never work. And so, it died, as did a lot of people in my life. And I have to speak on loss for a moment because the Berkeley community as a whole suffered a very, very dear loss. Friday, 16-year-old Lilia. Lilia was a Berkeley High JV cheerleader, little black girl from Berkeley. 16 years old, she died Friday night of a stroke. My daughter was her teammate. I saw this little girl every day. Her parents are very well-known members of the Berkeley community, and it has rocked Berkeley High School students to their core. It has rocked us coaches and teachers and staff members to our core because we've gotten desensitized almost to loss, especially since the pandemic, since COVID. People are dying left and right, and it's just become the new normal. It's never normal when it's a kid. And she was like the brightest light shining. And it hit home in a different way because I'm a parent. And because I'm a parent of a student there, because I'm a parent of a teammate of hers, because I have a little black girl at home that's just like her, because I have a little black boy at home. And we forget sometimes to humanize these losses and our responses to them. So I'll tell y'all right now, I'm not the lighthearted poet. I tried it, didn't really work. But I'm the person that's gonna tell you it's okay to hurt, because if you don't, that shit will sit. And it will eat away at you, and you won't think it. You be like, I made some dope-ass poetry about the darkest shit ever in my life all the time. And then you don't grow from it. But you gotta go through it. They said you gotta go through it to grow through it. I'm trying to get to the growing part. I mean, I'm hella tall, I know. So, right? And where's my host at? Where'd they go? I'll say what I have to say for when you get, The significance of me needing to say after he got up here and blasted me about what happened in 2018. He don't know we about to recreate that right now. Hey, honey. Guess what?
What?
My birthday is 2 weeks from today.
What? Happy birthday.
It'll be my 40th. So how many shots we taking tonight? I thought we just talked about what happened my last birthday celebration, because this was doubling tonight as my pre-birthday celebration. So I guess we gonna, okay, I just want to make sure he knew. So whoever's joining in on the shots, just that part, right? Make sure y'all got designated drivers. If you leave too late, then Bart is not gonna help you out. But I say that because there's so many pieces of me. I'm a layered person. And I had my whole set list figured out. And then I was like, I don't do that. I do what y'all need. Because conversely, it's typically what I need. And I got to call some people out without calling some people out. We don't do that shit in these types of venues. So I will. It's called Peers and Predators. That should tell you something off top, right? I wish I would have known it was okay to verbalize trauma when it happened, rather than writing about it after the fact, keeping it to myself, and then when it felt like it was okay to speak on it, kind of, sort of doing it in small circles. I don't know how many of us have been told to keep it moving, keep it pushing. You'll be all right. It wasn't that bad. It could have been worse. It's happened to all these other. Are you sure that's how it was? To you? Do you remember what you had on? You wasn't, I mean, I'm not saying you lying, but like, you know. So then we don't talk. Would you agree, even if it didn't happen to you, would you agree that that's the mantra we've repeated far too often? And I say that because just as ready as I am, I thought, to do certain things, I'm not as rah-rah for myself as I am for everybody else. So you guys are gonna have to give me a moment. I'm gonna do it. You just gotta give me a moment. Sometimes I can't distinguish peers from predators. They all start to look alike in my nightmares, so I stay awake, only to conjure them up in my daydreams. See, consuming drinks with artists who spike sips with ill intent has been known to turn poets into police reports they never filed. My microphone testimonies must look like easy targets to calculating eyes, must look carefully constructed, staged, presentations so well rehearsed, many never believed it was the same victimized me. After all, a woman shrouded in emptiness could not possibly be this full of life, of strength, of hope. But still they watched, if for no other reason than to find out how to shatter my unbroken spirit. If they want to see a disappearing act, they should watch me tuck wishes for second chances between a concave torso and a crescent moon spine, see me origami fold inside myself. Abracadabra, shit. This black girl magic is all smoke and mirrors. Distorting images so I have difficulty telling the difference between performers and pretenders. When did my free speech become an open invitation? Become a get out of jail free card, become admission to a show I never knew I was starring in. He pressed tequila shots to my lips like communion to Catholic tongues. Mine parted on cue. Open, insert, close, swallow, now wait patiently. Salvation is supposed to be guaranteed. I thought him godly, crowned him holy. He says I was his project, should have referred to him as director. I say I should have called him Jehovah, witness to my destruction, untouchable and otherworldly, like he dipped his manhood in ink and penned a new version of the first commandment. Thou shalt worship no other than me, no matter how many jagged pieces I splinter you in. Now bend knees, bow head, moisten lips. This is what loyalty looks like. I woke up changed. Regret jammed between thighs, scrubbed raw, stained with remnants of sin, wash rag held together by loose threads, mirrored the nerve endings dancing on my skin. My shame wouldn't go down the drain. But they say this happens to girls like me. They say, you know how you get when you drink. They say, refusing a rape kit made me harder to believe. I say, my words should be all I need. I tell them declining cultures and probes and swabs of humiliation meant to reviolate me it feels like control. Feels like choice. Feels like clutching the remnants of my honor in a vice grip. Feels like I finally found my voice. Call it political, call it whatever. I would just say a war has been waged, right? Against spirits, sanity, and solidarity in black women of fighting on the front line. Our steps are a little less lively than they once were. Our voices a little less steady. Our spines look more like lowercase C's than uppercase I's. Our shoulders have begun to droop, as though the weight of the world has finally gotten too heavy for them to carry, too burdensome for them to bear, too full of false hope and wishful thinking and dangling carrots that we were never actually supposed to be able to touch. So the soles of our feet and the soles of our sisters have grown rough and weary. The cries of frustration and fury, anger and angst, despair and doubt start deep in our core and spill from our lips, too explosive to be contained, to be held back, to be silenced. But yet still, the bleakest of moments, and on the darkest of days, we persist. We stagger, stumble, and then stand. We falter, flail, and then forge. We hurt, hate, and then heal. And when we lose, because we lose sometimes, when we lose, we carry one another back to the throne. Adjust both crown and weapon and assure her that she has what it takes to fight another day. Because that's what we do. Hell, that's who we are. That's how we're built. I mean, who else but a black woman could balance such a brilliant beam of magic and martyrdom in the midst of mayhem? She is I, and I am her, and we are us, still standing strong. Y'all still good? Some things are universal, right? I can write my black girl poems all that, and then I can write shit that people are like, oh my God, that applies to me completely, even though the last one didn't. And how many of y'all ever been called crazy? All the time, right? Like for that, right? And I didn't used to think I could own it. That, are you an Aries too? You a fire sign? Yeah, see, well, yeah. So there we go. I took offense. Oh, let me hear it for the Aries right now, real quick. Because it's our season. You either love us or you hate the fact that you don't love us. We are a lot, but we rock with you hard. Thank you, baby. We a little crazy, they say. I've always taken offense to being called crazy, and I didn't know it was okay to own that. Because when we're told we're crazy, it is as though that there is something wrong with us. Would you agree? Anybody agree with that? Call me crazy. Anxiety-ridden, mood disorder having, manic depressive, bipolar 2 if you choose. Just don't tell me I only have the blues and they can be cured with merely a try. Because y'all know that shit is a lie. See, I sometimes suffer from what's often dismissed as issues. Hell, used to be a side chick but was afraid of abandonment. Had memories of exuding confidence, yet now I lack self-assuredness, could solve everyone else's problems while backburnering my own. Convinced the world I was all anyone needed, but I fear being left alone. I should have won an Academy Award. Should all these false displays and declarations of happiness, but really, who would give a damn enough to watch? Because ain't everybody out here going through shit? I guess the difference between me and so many others is I'm willing to step up and freely admit that I'm full of imperfections. Yet at one point, somebody married me in spite of them. Or maybe it was because of them. Or perhaps he saw I was perfectly flawed and it reminded him of him, yet still I stand guarded. Scared of permanence since my temperament is unstable. I mean, how am I supposed to be able to clear my mind when I'm constantly chasing behind my own racing thoughts? Thoughts overlapping thoughts like cupped palms in brushstroke races. I wish I could invoke internal peace eternally. Instead, I piece together pieces of me in hopes that I'll become whole, even if it's haphazardly. But see, temporary fixes leave permanent damage, and I found myself watching myself, waiting for change but can't seem to make it. Been hospitalized and medicated in hopes that my life and sanity would soon become acquainted, yet all I found was a startling reality, y'all. People thought you could actually catch a mental disease. So now I was contagious and crazy. Hell, call me crazy. Anxiety-ridden, mood disorder having, manic depressive, bipolar 2, and you would be right. But never forget that your analysis of me does not define me. And I refuse to allow your ignorance to silence me, your attempts at belittling to make me cowardly, your fear of my irrationality halt me. Besides, the most memorable artists left behind legacies that began with, everybody thought I was crazy. So I guess in a way that means I'm exactly how I'm supposed to be. You call it crazy. I call it finally owning being Brianni. I know they're hella ready to kick me off this stage, right? I'm gonna do one more. I'll make it short. Right, huh? I'm like, I'm had a whole Sandman, the music playing and everything. They're like, all right, now. It's been a long day. So, I'm gonna wrap it up with one more piece, but I gotta tell you my news first. So, I coach high school basketball. I took a 16-year break from coaching. I coached at El Cerrito High way back before for 4 years. And then I came to Berkeley High this past season. I was the head JV coach for the girls and assistant varsity coach for the girls, right? And now I have switched sides and I will be on the boys varsity coaching staff. And I am the only woman in the Bay Area to be on and it's big. It's, what you say, girl? I do too. I do too. And so part of me stepping into this new role and stepping into, I have avoided this whole 40 thing in my mind. Like, I'm gonna stay 39, right? But I like that. I like you. But I realized, like, I gotta own this shit in a different way. And yeah, I need to make these coins. I need to get these next 3 manuscripts out that are already done. I'm just bullshitting myself right now. I need to own the fact that I will literally be the only woman in the Bay Area on a men's varsity basketball coaching staff at any school. And that means something. And we downplay our own shit far too often for other people to feel comfortable. And I would be remiss if I did not do my signature poem to end things off. So, what's your name? Your face wasn't clear or light enough, or your nose as women, we're taught to be wary of those who share our gender. Cautious of the ones who try to befriend us for fear that they have ulterior motives. Our envy of others is often apparent, yet we still try to hide it. So instead of complimenting her on her style and grace, we find ourselves searching intently for her flaws. Voicing our displeasure for all to hear, hoping, wishing silently that in some ways we were more like she. Because see, we're never really content with being we, being us. Or hell, I guess I should say being me, because I never really thought I was good enough. I bought into that hype that I could find pretty in a thought, sexy in a dress, thick in a plate of soul food, toned in a gym, always looking for a quick remedy to be more appealing to him, to them. Hell, to those who found ways to degrade without ever seemingly trying. But I'm a true Aries, so I exuded confidence with every step. Shit, I had mouthpiece that couldn't be met in game. I would have sworn let me stay on top. So I'd spend hours in the club with a cute ass outfit on, stuck in my stomach. Never sit down. You see, doing so would make the balls of my feet burn from the stilettos I'd worn, hoping to stand out. Shit, if I wasn't the center of attention, I was just normal. Average at best. Still too close for comfort to fit in with the rest off the team. I said I was gonna fake it till I make it. I walked around with a smile, grinning from ear to ear while refusing to hear my inner voice. Y'all know that one. That one telling your ass to slow down, take a step back, and retract. I was living life too fast. Thinking casual encounters would allow me to gain notoriety because I already worked for him, and him. So hell, why not me? Why was I so wrong to chase and replace? To hang out with her man and then smile in her face. To get high with him and drink until my heart was content to then hold up that degree I got in 3 years from UC Berkeley as though that somehow meant I made it. Shit. In all honesty, y'all, I was just starting out. See, I was trying to find myself when I didn't know I was lost. Heal myself when nobody told me I was broken. Fix myself when nobody told me I had been ill. And I gotta be stuck for a second because when I think too much about the words, I have to give transparency and realize I dropped a line or two. Stuck. I realized when somebody told me I was amazing, when they said I was beautiful, like it was a matter of fact, instead of their opinion, I said that shit didn't matter. I didn't believe in myself. But it opened my eyes. Because it made me realize that the demise of my greatness would come sooner than I wanted it to if I didn't step it up later. Potential ain't nothing more than a word without actions to back that shit up. So I took heed. I told myself I had to take the lead in the story that is my life. And that brings me to the here and now. To you. And I'm telling you that you are beautiful. No matter what negative things may have been said. You are amazing. Capable of creating changes unimaginable to most. You are brilliant. Placed in positions to find ways to make this world a better place. It don't matter what he said, she said, they said, or somehow led you to believe. I'm asking you to believe three. Some think man needed an equally strong being to stand to his side, and so can you. Why you don't recognize your greatness? Some of us have had the ability to live life, to carry on our strength and triumph. See, y'all, stop selling yourselves so short. Hell, from one woman to another, I admire you, girl, I don't even know you. Because the courage it takes to get up every day and face a society who hardly used to see you as a human being, that's commendable. Yeah. And you deserve recognition, honor, and appreciation. So as a young black woman in training, I challenge you to be you. Y'all stand out when it's unpopular. Reach out and allow yourself to be helped by others. Speak out against those who have done you harm. Do your very best to excel in all that you do, because you're a woman. And we are born and bred to be ready, willing, and forthcoming. Strong and steadfast. So demand respect. Command attention. Act as you speak and think, and believe me when I tell you, as I was told, that you are amazing. Whether you're sliding down the pole, working the stage, doing something strange for a little piece of change. Whether you got your AA, your BA, or hell, you ain't never seen that. Whether you're a struggling single mother or unattached and on your own, whether you have the support of your community members or are a lost soul in a pack of many, trust me when I tell you, we share a common bond. Ladies, biologically identifying however you want to call it is.
I think we can be a bit louder than that. Give it up for Bree Blue. God damn. I missed her so much. It's been a whole pandemic since we've seen each other. Now you know. If you didn't know who Bree Blue was, now you know. So I'm gonna need everybody to do something. At some point tonight, I need you to go up to Bree Blue and say thank you for the feature and hand her some cold hard cash. Because we pay our features, but grant funding, it does not pay our features what they are worth. Our poets are worth $1,000 motherfucking dollars at least. I don't have $1,000, but I think we can pool $1,000 in this room. So you need to go to Bree Blue and give her some money. You got books? You got books? So you're not even just giving her money, you're getting a product too. Like, participate in capitalism or whatever. It's what you're gonna do tomorrow morning. Only $15. You can't afford not to buy it. Bree Blue cannot afford for you not to buy it. So, go to Bree Blue, buy a book, but we are going to slide right in to our second round. Judges, can you raise your scoreboard so I can make sure you are still here? You're not going to be a judge. You are in finals next week. I'm not making you a judge. All right, we have our 5 judges. We have a new judge, so we are going to have another sacrificial poet. Because he's in finals next week. Nah. Look. Before we get into the sacrifice, let me tell you who's going to be in the second round. All of the poets you heard in the first round. But they will be reading in reverse order of appearance. So the first shall be last, the last shall be first. We getting all biblical in this motherfucker. So, the poets will be reading in this order. We have Niambi, we have Chardonay, we have Owaju, we have Ezperanza, we have Tino, we have Clara, and we have Cadence. Give it up for everybody touching the stage in the second round. Can we turn that up just a little bit, the music? How long did she make us wait for this album? I heard one person try to hit that high note, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you taking risks like SZA did, because I didn't think she could hit that high note. Damn, wait, she be talking about smoking. All right, on deck, we have Cadence. Sorry, I fucked that up. I was reading the wrong list. On deck, we have Niambi. But give maximum love for your sacrificial poet of the night. Give it up for Reggie. Redacted is an unsavory word. I know this to be true because definitions for redacted include the darkest color, the absence of all light, deeply stained with dirt, evil, and the opposite of white. So by definition, redacted people must also be an unsavory group. And if redacted is the opposite of white, then it must also be the opposite of innocent, meaning redacted boy must always be considered guilty until proven dead, until he becomes absent of all light. And still, white folks don't seem to understand why do the redacted advocate for all people. Don't understand that some people never have to worry about their humanity being ripped out from under them, and a redacted boy knows erasure well, knows how to present his redacted skin in a way that makes white people feel comfortable. Redacted boy knows that even white comfort can mean redacted danger depending on the situation. Like another redacted boy shot dead by white cops, and redacted people hold a riot on redacted tongues until redacted freedom becomes something other than a redacted dream. The redacted hope of every redacted every redacted boy buried by their mother too soon. Redacted boy complains and is told to pull himself up by redacted bootstraps until he forgets where he comes from. Now he's trying to name himself anything but redacted, and his name is ripped from his throat, a redacted hallelujah, a redacted battle cry. A dream deferred becomes a redacted dream, which leads to a redacted future, which fuels redacted rage. And a redacted mother's cries don't fall easy on white ears, so it also becomes redacted grief, a redacted funeral, a redacted preacher praying over a redacted body to an equally redacted God. We cover ourselves in redacted clothing to mourn. And look how exposed the redacted body becomes in the most vulnerable of moments. How we can pour ourselves out a river, and white America will still swim in our blood. Redacted boy knows this, so he softens himself, or tries to become the darkest night so at least all the other stars can shine a little brighter. Redacted boys hold galaxies between their palms. When they die, they become redacted holes devouring all the night. Redacted boy knows this too, and still keeps writing his redacted stories. Hopes that one day they'll stop being considered redacted and just be considered good, just like the redacted boy. So full of light despite being told he was always empty of it, but redacted boy knows this too, and still keeps loving, keeps laughing, keeps smiling with all his teeth not redacted, but anchored bone, pearly white and shining. The only thing about him considered innocent enough not to remove. Judges, I need your scores. I've been drinking. Can we play Drunken Love, DJ? All right, judges, can I see your scores? Let them know how you feel. We have a low of a 9.0, goes up to a 9.0, a 9.1, a 9.4, and a 10. Give it up for the poet and not the points. All right. Everybody ready? Yeah, it's who you've been waiting for, because on deck, we have Chardonay. But give maximum love to the first poet in the second round. Give it up for Niambi.
In this poem, I will say you and mean borderline personality disorder. I will say you and mean the audience. I will say you and mean a love interest. I will say you and mean everything Marx was talking about, and mean my pen that wouldn't let me write about you being me being borderline. This poem is saying something about mental illness, and I am ill-prepared for this poem. I will say you and mean the long walk home. I will say you and mean the memories, you being the thing I am holding onto tightly, so tight, I may consider my own fingers a mode of transportation. Let me learn you unto a time you've forgotten, a me we both misremember. This poem will take us back to the center. This poem is saying something about mental illness. When I say us, I'll mean all the me's existing at the same time. Something about needing to ask your father to confirm his love for you, to admit our defeat. This is how we liberate back to us. I will say you and mean me. I will say you and mean, did I or did I not fuck a man on this very bridge I now sashay across? I will say you and mean I am lost in a you again. Something about mental illness. Something about asking the nigga you've been fucking on for months if he knows your name. I will say you and mean gender. I mean a thing that's never known my name. Something about reflection being an unreliable thing. About losing yourself in every identity. I will swear that there's something drinking the identity from my throat. I swore yesterday there was a thought behind these borderline eyes. Something about blank eye contact. About turning away before goodbyes are said. I have never been good at interpretations. The thorn from the rose, the fly trap from the fly, I become both. And circle back to you with assurance that tastes like tomorrow may not be the me I promised you. Something about personality disorder, sounding a lot like home and jumbling itself into the only identity I won't abandon. The only thing that can't abandon me, something about shame, about always sneaking under a microscope and you haven't found me out yet. Remember, I will say you and mean me. Something about me never being mine. Say you and mean borderline and you and mean the audience. So you get a diagnosis and you get a diagnosis. We all get a diagnosis. You explain everything. And how does that make you feel? Yes, this is vulnerable. I apologize to you. I'm still trying to walk in my own shoes. They fit differently every day. So you can't go. Don't go. Something about loving oneself being first a proclamation and then a warning. Borderline is all about the dissonance, the give and take. Something about mental illness tricking you into unlovable, but God damn it, I am lovable. And so are you.
Keep that round of applause going for Niambi. Judges. Okay, I know this is my playlist. Do I really listen to this much SZA? All right. Let them know how you feel. We have a low of an 8.0. Goes up to an 8.7, an 8.9, a 9, and a 9. Fuck the scores. Give it up for the poet. Never the points. The poet and never the points. All right, we are going to keep it pushing on deck. We have Owaju. But give maximum love to the next poet coming up on stage. Give it up for Chardonay.
Shout out to my mama for backing her big ass truck over that stalking ass light skinned nigga and not giving a fuck when he kept chasing us. Just hit his ass again and kept it pushing. To my auntie for beating that white lady until both her eyes were blue for trying to steal the kid's food. To my brother, because he would never put his hands on a lady, but he slapped my name out of some bitch mouth and still wanted his girlfriend to fight her. To all my niggas outside of Berkeley Slam, ready to beat the brakes off of some bitter-ass white men who kept returning to pick a fight after the police kept telling him to take his drunk ass home. Over me, a pacifist just trying to keep the peace. All my life, I've been a Martin Luther King ass nigga. We shall overcome by any means other than violence. They still killed him, but my bullies sat their asses down when I tossed them into the school bus for trying to touch my brother. I never knew how much I loved to fight until I was slaying demons in the name of stay the fuck away from my family. My bullies fucked with me for months on a school bus with a driver who never did shit about it. And no one thinks that violence can stop violence until the bully loses the fight. Getting your ass beat will humble you. This is how I've learned to transmute pain. Taking violence as a friend who ain't scared to beat your ass, make the world safer for everyone. I would never expect those I love to take a bullet for me, but I know they be the ones blacking eyes, slapping bitches, and running niggas over if that's what it means to create a safe space in a world that never created one for us. If it wasn't for violence, Niggas would still be slaves because the South would rather die than give up the people they made property. Dr. King dreamed of the Fair Housing Act, but the violent protests in his name are the only reason they became a reality. Pacifism without the ability and willingness to fight back is just complacency. My safety has always been a gift from niggas willing to get violent, a lifelong lesson of what it means to be surrounded by peace. Peace is not the absence of violence, but the certainty that you will be protected from it. The threat of violence is eliminated in the face of the threat of retaliation. My pacifism is not the lack of violence, but the restraint necessary to contain it. My pacifism says karma will handle it and knows that sometimes karma is a nigga ready to beat your ass. My pacifism knows peace will be acquired by any means necessary.
Keep that round of applause going for Chardonay. Shout out our DJ. I got Henny in my cup. Just throw your hair up. You was talking all that shit when I see you square up. All right, judges, I need your scores. Did we do it? Y'all are really taking your swaying the judge's job seriously. Just know you're not getting paid. Just know you are not getting paid. We finally did it because we have broken the 9 barrier. We have a low of a 9.0, goes up to a 9.5, a 9.5, a 9.6, and a 9.7. Fuck the scores, give it up for the poet and never the points. The poet and never the points. On deck, we have Ezperanza, but give maximum love to the next poet coming up on stage. Give it up for Owaju!
Hit a wall and didn't turn around. Instead, I took my fists and I tore it down. Brick by brick, though my hands were chafed, I refused to quit on the plans I made. Above average faith, I'm a go-getter. With cancer at bat, I'm throwing no-hitters. There's no going home, so I'm going bigger. Beat the anaphylaxis that the chemo triggered. Death came calling, but I wouldn't hear it. With an opaque fate, God came and cleared it. Unashamed appearance is my daily mantra. Brave and bald is my daily awesome. Lost my hair, but I'll grow it back. Lost the left breast, but I can roll with that. The new ones won't sag, and mama told me that struggle spawns beauty and a wholesome laugh. So even if the radiation makes me glow, I'm glad, because the radiance of my body and my soul will match. Beyond a conqueror or a mere survivor, my heart beats off of pure desire. I'm fighting hard, and I will keep living. Battle scars healing under pink ribbons. I've got goals, I don't need wishes. The happy I hold is a decision. Keeping my family close when I seem distant. My mind's locked on my remission and the eviction of my condition. So with cancer hot for my attention, I got too much ice on this shoulder. Got too much fight in this soldier. Got too much life to think it's over. Prayed my count would get lower. Now I'm getting over my lymphoma with beauty in the eye of this beholder. Still focused on my future like a psychic optometrist. Seeing me better be about sighting life's promises. So if I think therefore I am means my healing's a matter of mind. I control what holds the wheel. Like the DMV, I decide who drives. So the Reaper can keep his number and move to the back part of the line while I tend to unfinished business I have with Father Time.
Keep that round of applause going for Owaju. Judges, I need your scores. All right, judges, let them know how you feel. We have a low of a 9.0, goes up to a 9.5, a 9.8, a 10, and a 10. Give it up for the poet and not the points. The poet and not the points. All right. Before we continue, who here can tell me what this is? Instead of telling me, it's metal. It's a tin. It is a bucket. It's your latest ASMR tool. But most importantly, it is our tip jar and it is empty. Like I said, next week, we are going to be determining which 5 poets are going to be a part of the Berkeley Slam team. Now, we know for sure that these poets are going to Visalia, California, and to Portland, Oregon, as well as other shows that may be happening. I don't know about you, but that shit sounds expensive. So we gonna need your help getting those poets across the West Coast and abroad. So you can put $1 in here, $2 in here, $1 million. If you want to donate $1 million, you can make your check out to Reginald Edmonds. I promise that it will get to the right place, but I'm gonna give it. And we are going to pass this tip jar around the room like a snake. On deck, we have Tino. But give maximum love to the next poet coming up on stage. Give it up for Ezperanza.
When I think of what was stolen, it feels insurmountable. A heavy loss weighing down, a history now hard to trace, the people, all sorts of displaced. We are everywhere, all around. We are nowhere, waiting to be found. No one is being held accountable. No words exist for this level of corrosion. Those two have been taken. I am of, I am not of. I belong and I do not. All I know is what is wrong, being told it is me for so long. That despite decades of onslaught, centuries where my people have been untaught, sent away to schools to fall prey, to fall in love with a civilized mindset, do not be mistaken. Civilized just means assimilated, stripped of, forced to reveal all so that someone else can steal it, they take. Throw away what they find fit while they enjoy feeling powerful and tall, creating holes into which they force us to crawl. We are intoxicated, incarcerated, invalidated, called criminals and aliens instead of daughters or sons, words to dehumanize. Rob us of our pride, then taught that our ancestors were savages, unworthy of the land and air they inherited, just as we must consider ourselves fortunate. Lucky to be American, don't you forget it. As number one, our pride is merited. The victors write history, yet ours remain edited. What do you call unapologetic rapists and killers? Savages. In the hands of the wrong people, to be free is to be held under a knife. We are taught not to take up too much space, to make ourselves small, that our traditions, tongues, and values are outdated, that disease was the cause of our downfall, not to manifest destiny, greed, gluttony, or guns. Those are all ideals, part of what makes America strong. The land was here for the taking, belonging to no one. It was obvious what to do. The land was sold and bought, people and animals too, distributed and renamed as a united America, to be sold in parcels and plots. For the truest believers, those whose faith are still unshaken, the government sells and buys. taxes anyone or thing that takes up space. Today, you are a loyal citizen, but tomorrow you may find yourself forsaken. If you want to know what it means to be different from the status quo, you may know yourself to be. It means dealing with tragedies that are uncountable. That where you came from may look ratty or run down, but our spirits do not stay broken. Our thoughts can't be stolen. The word I could not find before was genocide. Their mistake, because we have survived and we will hold them accountable. This grief may feel, but is not insurmountable.
Keep that round of applause going for Ezperanza. All right, judges. Y'all are so good. Like, y'all know exactly what I need from y'all. Y'all are quick with it. Y'all are ready. Y'all are responsive. You give me exactly what I want when I want it. Can we date? I'm joking. I'm hella engaged. This motherfucker started walking over like, nah. All right. I think one of our judges is debating currently what's going on. All right, let them know how you feel. We have a low of an 8.4. Goes up to an 8.5, an 8.6, an 8.9, and a 9.9. Fuck the scores, give it up for the poet, and never the points. All right. On deck, we have Clara. But give maximum love to the next poet coming up on stage. Give it up for Tino.
Trigger warning, suicidal ideation. By the end of this poem, I will still be alive. Not alive as in here is my beating heart for you to see, but rather, I will have found the will to live for myself. Today, I am the miracle. Today, I let go of the unalive in me. I promise I welcome in the party. I welcome in more ass shaking, more blunts. I promise I'll live for myself. This time, I'll address my ideation. This time, I will be the answered prayer. And it's not for lack of love or trying. Frankly, every sunrise has conquered me. But I fought so much harder today. And when that didn't make me ill, it felt right to let go of calling myself ungodless, a prickled thing, something so marred by lifelessness and death rates, I did not know I could live to be 30. Some of us proclaim, it's a miracle I'm still here. The rest of us pass around secondhand guilt because survival is a game, the same way Sunday football is to the town, or how the homies stay shooting dice at the corner store by the altar of who was unmade before them. All of us, wayward brown boys, ready for another homecoming, carrying the name of our tío and abuelo, a father who couldn't raise himself to be a man. Do you know what it's like to stomach the fractured mirror, to grow in its brokenness and still serve, to have the sharpest parts of you undone by a Pixar movie, just to go home to more stray lead, another dead boy, not worth remembering? Shout out to Tony. Shout out to Eleodoro. When I said I wanted to live, I did not mean I also to outlive my peers. I shouldn't have taken me to 22 to admit that I was depressed. I shouldn't have said at 14 how I so dead I would have been at 18. Thank God that's a promise I did not keep. That every day that is passed, I will tally it as a miracle. I do not know if I feel less of an obituary today, but I promised you I will be alive by the end of this poem. If not for love, if not for them, then for spite, for proof. So here, a list of ways on how to undead the boy inside of me. 1, there was never a need for resuscitation. We just forgot to believe we were breathing. 2, the romance for the dead is not just reserved for the elderly. I too can talk about the departed, especially if you intend to forget them. I'll pick out the prettiest metaphors for all those motherfuckers. 3, a prayer to hold you. I promise you, I'll live. I promise you, I'll live. I promise you, I'll live.
Keep that round of applause going for Tino. Do y'all remember when Chance the Rapper was good? Like we looked forward to his next album? So remember looking forward to the second album? Remember that? Remember that and like being disappointed? I have feelings about Chance the Rapper. All right. Let them know how you feel. Judges, I need your scores. One of the judges just erased his score and I'm scared. I'm scared. We don't have a parking lot. If you catch somebody in a random parking lot, wrong place, wrong time, outside your BPD's problem. But judges, I will walk you to your car as long as it's apparently not in a parking lot now. Let them know how you feel. We have a low of an 8.8. Chill out, that's the low score. Damn, that's the highest low score we've had tonight. Besides the nines we got, but it goes up to a 9.5, a 9.5, a 9.8, and a 10. Give it up for the poet and never the points. The poet and never the points. On deck, we have Cadence. But give maximum love to the next poet coming up on stage. Give it up for Clara.
This is a poem for anybody who's ever convinced themselves that they have everything under control. My friend Dylan plays poker starving. Glass shards rattle in his gut as over and over 52 cards flit across the green felt. Hungry, I pay more attention, he tells me. Can't let complacency set in when the plastic stack symbolizes real cash. And it's true. I have seen him raise and fold and wait, patient hands gasping for an ace. Careful and precise, he riffles the chips like hummingbird wings. Hungry, he is 100% honed in. I read somewhere that the hungriest creatures on earth are hummingbirds. Starvation drives them to precisely map every plastic feeder and drinkable bloom. Always according to plan, they rush, score, repeat. A whole life punctuated by momentary relief. Dylan and the birds share the same routine. Hit their peaks brushing up against real need. At first it seems Like starvation is the magic seasoning, hunger has everything under control. But some nights, Dylan calls me from behind the casino to tell me that the cards didn't go his way. He played the odds empty-bellied, but still got out-bluffed. His master plan no match for pure chance. And I looked it up. The leading cause of hummingbird mortality is starvation. They often die in their sleep, but photographers have also caught them hanging from flowers by their needle-thin beaks, slim tongues just seconds too slow to compensate for the exertion of flight. Fast lives cut short by the famine that sharpened their minds. It turns out you can die optimized. It turns out hunger isn't magic, it's just poison in disguise. Perfection and failure, two sides of the same knife. There's Dylan at the AT.PM with a stomach ache, another hungry beak banking on a spare bloom. It turns out we're all different breeds of the same starving creature, chasing the high of animal need, clinging to shaky myths of control. Hummingbird or gambler, we all toe the same invisible line, plan hungry and fly blind. All of us are just a coin flip between keeling over and the best payout of our lives.
Keep that round of applause going for Clara. Bitch, I know this isn't. Come on now. I love this bitch so much. I used to think that Hayley Williams was a black woman. She was on that song with B.O.B., so I thought the Hayley Williams that was a part of Paramore was a different Hayley Williams than that was on Airplanes. And then I found out they were the same person. I was like, so you're telling me my emo side and my black side were always on the same side? Interesting. All right, judges, can I see your scores? Sway the judges, don't sway me. No, you can't even trick me because I can see now. I keep lifting these glasses up and I can't believe that I was hosting this show like this. Oh my fucking God. All right, let them know how you feel. We got a low of an 8.0, goes up to an 8.3, an 8.5, an 8.8, and a 9.7. Fuck the scores. Give it up for the poet and never the points. The poet and never the points. All right. On deck, we find out who made finals for next week. But I need y'all to make maximum love for the next poet coming up on stage. Give it up for Cadence!
For the good of society, transgenderism must be eradicated from public life entirely. The whole preposterous ideology at every level. Michael Knowles at this year's Conservative Political Action Conference. 1. In the early 20th century, Magnus Hirschfeld created the first transgender clinic at the Institute of Sexology in Berlin. The clinic provided counseling, document changes, hormone therapy, and the world's first gender reassignment surgeries. In May of 1933, the Nazis occupied the institute and burned all the books. Not long after, they burned the bodies too. 2. This year, there are over 450 bills seeking to deny or restrict the rights of transgender Americans. 3, the night Tennessee passes its gender-affirming care ban for minors, I doom scroll until my eyelids sink like shipwrecks. Before me, terrified trans teenagers slide across my screen like a PowerPoint history lesson. Not repeating the Holocaust is an open book test, and we are failing. Tonight, trans kids all across America are stroking their knives, wondering if they can carve themselves out of a body that doesn't fit, see if they can mold themselves into an afterlife better than this lump of clay they didn't ask for. 50% of them wanted to kill themselves last year. 20% of them tried, and conservative fascists will still tell you that they're trying to protect our children. For one time, I braided my hair and turned a class full of cis Southern children against me until I had to switch schools. One time, I talked to the boy after he fucked me, and he opened his palm wider than he could open his mind, tried to knock his own shame out through my cheekbones. 5, some of this year's anti-trans bills include gender-affirming care bans, bathroom bans, drag bans, sports bans, a bill trying to criminalize exposing minors to trans people, and a new bill in Tennessee that would create a registry for male and female impersonators. They're trying to legislate us out of existence, but erasure isn't new to us. 6, in loving memory of the 47 mostly black trans people who were murdered last year, may they rest in power. May we honor their lives by continuing to fight for each other with love and courage. 7, as trans people, we both come from and circle around annihilation. We already came from non-existence, and we're not going back. We have always been here, from Indian hijras blessing babies to two-spirit indigenous shamans to black trans queens voguing across the ballroom floor. From Berlin to Stonewall today, we have never stopped fighting for survival. 8, there are some laws bigger than a legislature. 9, law, we are timeless. We have always been here and we always will be. Law, we are divine. We walk between worlds. Law, we are alchemy. 10, we will survive this too, but at what cost?
Keep that round of applause going for Cadence. Judges. Wow. First of all, judges, I feel like we built up a relationship. Like, I feel like we're friends now. See, it's always somebody hating on my new friendships. Look, my mother was trying to do what's best for me, and did she really know? All right, judges, I need your scores. Let them know how you feel. We have a low of a 9.3, goes up to a 9.3, a 9.5, a 9.6, and a 10. Give it up for the poet and not the points. All right. Y'all, while I'm waiting for these scores, let me tell you about the last year. In the last year, we have done 2 things. 1, we came back from a 3-year-long fucking pandemic. And we are now forming our first Berkeley Slam team since 2019. In 2019, I was the Berkeley Slam Grand Slam champ. And I will be the first person to tell you that I did not want to participate in either one of these fucking semis these last 2 weeks. These fucking poets are amazing. Oh my God, were you not entertained tonight? Jesus fucking Christ. Not just tonight, but each and every one of these poets showed their ass all year, competing against each other, winning, losing, getting better. I have watched every single one of these poets grow, and I personally do not give a fuck about the scores because all 7 of these people earned their spot on this team as far as I'm concerned. I'm gonna be coaching this year, and I would be honored to coach any combination of any 5 people that managed to make it out of semis this week, last week, that competed. It's fucking insane. I have never seen a Berkeley Slam that was so connected, where everybody fucked with each other. Do you know how much drama happens between poets? So, you wanna know the reason why? Because all of these poets are dope. Not just dope poets, but dope people. I'm not gonna tell a vibrator story. I'll tell some people after. But like, seriously, every single person tonight has been amazing, not just tonight, but this entire year. They've been working so hard, and I'm going to be very honored to coach the 5 people that are going to make the Berkeley Slam team next week. Do I have scores from any of our scorekeepers? If you can post them in the host checklist. They are really, I can actually say that, because I can see y'all motherfuckers this week. I was literally sitting up here just assuming y'all was cute, but everybody in this room is hella beautiful. Like, if you're single, I mean, I'm not single, so I can't take you home, but find somebody to take you home, because y'all beautiful. I can't. Oh, shit. Okay, I have 2 announcements to make. 1, if anybody was rocking with us during the pandemic, we had a virtual writing workshop that we did every April called the Make Gold Workshop. We're doing it again this year. It's a free writing workshop. Write that the fuck down, because I can promise you, if you're a poet who has been doing this for a while, there is no such thing as a free fucking writing workshop. I paid upwards of $1,000 to participate in writing workshops run by some of the very same people that we've gotten to do this workshop, so it's no fucking joke. A month long, every Thursday for the entire month of April. You can check out Berkeley Slam on Instagram or Facebook for more information. It's gonna be run by Berkeley Slam OG Joshua Merchant. So you should come on down, write with us, kick it with us. We also have a new show. Yes. This one's in San Francisco. So we've crossed the bay now. We're no longer in the East Bay. We are all over the bay. We have Daydreamers Poetry every second Saturday at Medicine for Nightmares in the Mission District. If you're familiar with Alley Cat Books, they're the people who took that over once they closed. It's gonna be a dope night. We'll have 3 features plus an open mic. So you should come on down, do some poetry with us, listen to the artists. But yeah, it's gonna be a lit month. April's gonna be super fun. So you should definitely follow us on social media to say Sweetie tapped into everything that we have going on. Let me see, do I have my scores? All right. Can I get all the poets to the stage? If you competed tonight, can you come up to the stage? We're gonna Miss America this shit. Y'all are gonna hold each other. I promise I won't pull a Steve Harvey and announce the wrong person. Give it up for every single person on this stage tonight. Y'all left it all on the stage. This feels like that one scene from Hunger Games Catching Fire. We had 7 kick-ass poets tonight. Only 4 of them could make finals. Can I get a small drum roll, please? In 4th place, making finals this year, give it up for Niambi! In third place, also making finals this year, give it up for Tino! Now, I was scared for a minute, judges, because for the first round, we had a tie for first place, so I'm glad y'all broke that tie. In second place, making finals, give it up for Chardonay! All right. So I need like a loud, ratchet, like BSU, drum line, drum roll. In first place, making finals this year, give it up for Owaju! Is there anything you would like to say to the people? OMG is right. We had 4 poets from last week who made finals. We had 4 poets from this week who made finals, which means next week, I need to see each and every one of you here get pre-sale tickets because this motherfucker sold out this week. And it's going to sell out next week. If you like what you heard this week, you're going to love what you hear next week. It's our finals. We're going to take the top 5 poets to form our team. So, congratulations, Owaju, Chardonay, Niambi, and Tino. And give it up for every single person who touched this stage tonight. Shout out to Bree Blue. And give it up for yourselves. Being here on a Wednesday night after a wild-ass storm, didn't know if we was gonna have power or not. My name has been Reggie. This has been the Berkeley Poetry Slam. The slam is over, but the bar is still open, so you can still get a drink. You can still get me a drink. You can buy one of the poets a drink. Tell somebody that you like their work, but most importantly, you can be here this same time next week. See y'all.